It looks like it's gonna hail.
You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
Welcome back to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. It's great to have you with us. We are broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios, brought to you, of course, by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. Before we go on, I want to just let our listeners know we've got a free gift for you. We put together a bi-monthly newsletter. It's yours free. A lot of what you'll hear us cover on our show, we cover in further detail. People that we have on as guests also write for this publication. And people have said it's been a great resource, and they've appreciated having it sent to their homes each and every publication. So it's yours free. All you have to do, give us a call at New Concepts, 952-922-2500. Ask for Lori, and she'll make sure that you start receiving it electronically or by mail. Let's turn to another story, and this is from Toronto, Canada, and came from the Post Media Network. It's entitled Stoop and Scoop, or Snap and Shame.
Okay.
What is worse, a irresponsible dog owner who doesn't pick up after their dog, or someone who is fed up with this taking place and takes pictures of the offenders and lets the association know so that they can be fined?
This is a condo association, right, in Toronto, and
That's
they
right.
have the same problem that every multifamily property I've ever been involved in has. Doesn't matter if it's rental, doesn't matter if it's condo, doesn't matter if it's townhouse. If you allow dogs, dog poop is going to be one of your top three problems.
That's right. You've got pooper pets, parking, and people. Those are the
the three P's.
The three
that
P's
are your problems. And in this case, in Toronto, one of the residents kind of took matters into her own hands, didn't she?
Yes, they did. It said that one person in a trendy Toronto condo towers known as Liberty Village has had enough, but her attempt to name and shame offenders have quickly landed her in hot water, apparently. There is a person, the person who wrote this article said, I'm going to identify this person simply as JR, and who is a female who spied a resident letting her dog do its business in the community courtyard without even a pretense to stoop and scoop. So JR took out her digital camera, and then she posted the photo to the condo's Facebook page. She said, to the dog owners destroying the courtyard, our property. She said, I sat on my patio for 1.5 hours after work today and took about 18 pictures of people ignoring the no pooping, peeing, no off the leash sign. So apparently it says you can't allow a dog to go there. You can't allow a dog to be off leash. And she was described saying that she saw someone who walked out of her unit. The dog was without a leash. She sat down by the courtyard, had a cigarette. The dog did its business. It pooped in the yard. She got done. She flicked her cigarette in the courtyard, and she and her dog went back inside.
The JR said she clarified the rules and policies with management and got the go-ahead to post the pics on the online newsletter. Seems to me like a great idea. I like the idea because people don't get held accountable for these kinds of things.
Do you remember you had something that happened with the property a couple years ago?
Let's say more. Of course, the people who got caught in this manner are outraged, aren't they, at this condo? They think she's just horrible, a horrible spy, and she's policing them, and they just think that's awful. They think it's worse to live with her than it is to live with the dog.
Yes, let's read one of the quotes from someone. They said, here's one quote by one person. They said, while I fully agree with the sentiment and good intentions here, I think that the fact that this JR person took a picture is extreme, and I find that nearly as unpleasant as the poop itself. Really?
Someone else said, this is completely and utterly insane. Who are you to police your neighbors? The problem is, how do you get people to stop doing it? They already have rules and regulations. They have signs posted. People are still doing it. And by the way, the cigarette butts are as bad as the poop.
Yes.
And I mean...
And yeah, let's face it, the idea that you just have a rule in place doesn't take care of it. Unfortunately, there is a certain segment of the HOA industry or HOA members who feel that all you need to do is put something in writing. And it, right?
Well, not just HOA members of society that think as long as we have the rule.
If we have a rule, if we have a law.
If we have enough rules, if we have enough laws, this will never happen.
Yes.
So we never have to confront each other. We never have to hold each other accountable if we have enough rules.
Yes.
One of my experiences, and I love this story, we managed a townhouse association out in Apple Valley, and dog poop, as everywhere, was a problem there. A woman was fined because the manager kept finding dog poop in the grass in front of her unit. They fined her for not picking up after her dog. She came to the board meeting and was incensed, outraged. How dare you fine me? How dare you accuse me of this? You have no way of proving that poop belongs to my dog. Lots of people walk their dogs around here. It could be anybody's. They removed the fine. They let it lie. Not too long after that, the board president happened to be walking up the street with his camera, heading to a scene of a fire. He was going to take pictures for insurance purposes. And as he passed by this woman's townhouse, here was her lab, standing in the middle of the yard, all alone. There was no human being with him. He was not on a leash, doing his business. Now, if you can picture what a lab, can you think
the
about
hunched over
how sheepish dogs look
yes.
when they're doing this job? They look so silly. Well, he snapped a picture, and he got a beautiful photo of this dog right in front of the house with the house number right there, pooping with no human beings around.
This person's dog, their house number, and here's the person who is so vehemently.
You can't prove that's my dog doing that. So now he can prove it. So now she's outraged because they're spying on her.
They call that spying.
How dare you sit outside my place and wait for my dog? It's all about people who will not take responsibility for their actions and who think they can get away with breaking the rules simply because they won't get caught.
Well, and I want to dispel something right now about this whole thing. You know, this person writing this article here or editorial says, anyone who lives in one of Toronto's bazillion or so condominiums knows that crappy neighbors can make life unbearable. I want to change that. It's not just people in condominiums or townhome associations. Anyone who lives, period, in any neighborhood, in any home, knows that if you got crappy neighbors, they will make life unbearable.
That's right.
And what we're talking about are people who are unprincipled. And
that's right. You're right.
And a lot of times, this argument goes and gets attached to renters. And in the HO industry, that's one of the reasons people will say, well, we know that renters never care for the property as much as owners. That's a bunch of baloney. Responsible people take care of the place because they care about where they live and they care about the people that live around them. People that don't care about the people around them will do that, whether they're a homeowner or a renter. It's not assigned to renters. It's assigned to a person because of their character.
That's exactly right. They're upset because they think in their minds they can do anything they want to if they won't get caught. That the only time it's a problem or a moral issue or a value issue is if they get caught.
Yeah.
So of course they're outraged when they get caught because they were counting on the fact that they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Now the world can see how unprincipled and uncaring and disrespectful they really are. It just makes me crazy.
And the proof of this kind of person. And if you want to know the litmus test, anybody here listening, of what kind of person you really are, what you do when nobody else is around and looking is
who you
a
are.
real indication of who you are.
That's
It's
right.
not when other people are watching. Everybody can toe the line here. And so here's one homeowner who's hoping to up that a little bit, saying, hey, pictures can be taken at any time here.
That's right.
And this
your
isn't,
neighbors are seeing you. Your neighbors are seeing you do this.
and this isn't like this person is making it her life
No.
mission to catch everybody all the time, 24/7. And we know people like that who are on boards.
Yeah,
that
that
just,
can happen too.
That go overboard. Here's someone who says, I've had enough. And so on my time off, in just one and a half hour
One
period,
evening.
here's what I found. 18 occurrences.
That's crazy.
I mean,
the appropriate response, if I saw my picture up there with my dog, now accidents happen. I have had it happen where I've had the dog out after dark and I forgot to bring the flashlight with me.
Yeah.
So I lost it. I didn't find it. I mean, things can happen.
but
The
then you make an
appropriate
effort to
if
turn
my
around.
picture was up on that website, I'd be on that website so fast with my apology. I would say, I am so embarrassed. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. I won't let it happen again. Instead, these people are turning around and blaming their neighbors who are trying to live with them.
Yeah. Well, that's all.
Probably enough on
That's enough on this one. But
Okay.
don't go away. We've got one more segment of Where You Live after these messages.